First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rokakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well, and a sincere salutation to you, Akim, you Akwat, that believe in all sincerity. This is not going to be too long. This is something that has been on my spirit, all right? And I want to touch on, not running to the same excess of riot as you see, these individuals in the world do. And, when you come into the truth, you have to mortify your members, you have to discipline yourself, okay? Because your flesh will ruin you, your appetites, give not thyself over to thine appetites, because they'll make a fool out of you, and your enemies will malign you. There's certain things you'll do, okay, that if you give yourself over to them, you may fall, you may stumble. And those, that are your enemies, they'll see it and they'll use it against you, And so we have come to this truth, and the scriptures speak about setting a scourge over our thoughts, our tongue, It's a very disciplined walk, okay? And you're going to notice that Jake is undisciplined, and Jake is just running amok, saying and doing the most. And, they're going to think it's strange that you don't run with them to the same excess of riot. You're not like them, and you're going to stand out. And they're not going to understand you. Okay, so this is just a quick exhortation to continue in the spirit. The scriptures say to envy not sinners, but be in the fear of the Lord all the day long. Don't envy what individuals are doing. Let these people use their grace period to destroy themselves. That's on their own accord, right? We'll start here at the top. 1 Peter, the 4th chapter. It says here, keep fervent in your love. For as much then as Hamashiach has suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind. For he that has suffered in the flesh has ceased from sin. You see? So, Yahweh Shai, he suffered for us in the flesh. Okay? So, us as well, we're supposed to be like Yahweh Shai. We're supposed to have the same mind. We're in this to suffer. We're in this to learn what it is to be a disciplined man of the Most High. We're not in this to be willy-nilly individuals, man. This truth comes with the high level of discipline. And the spirit will of the Lord will keep you in the discipline. The Lord will keep you in the way. It says, for he that has suffered in the flesh has ceased from sin. And that's the thing. When you suffered enough, you just kind of like want to stop sinning. It's kind of like you master lessons. You're like, you know what? I can't do that anymore. I've been down that route. Yeah, I'm not doing that anymore. For he that has suffered in the flesh has ceased from sin. Yeah. And so the more spiritual we get, the more we have to learn to cease from sinning. Now, we're not perfect, but there's for lack of words, there, you have to exert yourself. Okay. Let's read this in the NLT. So then, since Hamashiach suffered physical pain, you must arm yourselves with the same attitude he had, and be ready to suffer too. For if you have suffered physically for Hamashiach, you have finished with sin. Right. Yeah. If you suffer, if you've caught hell, you learn. You master lessons. And so you catch hell, until you learn to master a certain lesson. You will repeat something until you master it. Okay? So might as well learn and stop from certain sins, okay? So that you don't suffer. That's why we're constantly learning. That's why we're constantly suffering, because we're constantly learning. Okay, so we got to get to the point where we're perfect, man. And that's in Yahweh Shai. It says that he no longer should live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lusts of men, but to the will of the Most High. Right? You're not living to the forbidden desires of men, the perverseness of men. You're living to the will of the Most High. It's the Lord's will. What goes on in my life? It's the Lord's will. Where where He wants to take me in this truth. Okay, because we're sure not to do the lust of men. What men esteem highly is an abomination in the sight of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So we're living to the will of the Most High. Let Him take over. Like what does the Zaquan say? Let go and let God. You have we let the will of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai take over. Most individuals don't understand that. The scriptures say that they follow the Lamb wheresoever He goeth. Wherever the Lord wants us to go, we're gonna go. Through the Spirit. In our daily lives, we get up and we live our life, but it's to the Spirit, to the best of our ability, according to the will of the Lord. Wherever He takes it, wherever He wants us to do, it's going to manifest itself in our life, and we're going to do it. We're going to continue and have that faith. It says, for the time past of our life may suffice us to have wrought the will of the Gentiles. Right? We did what the Israelites that were in the Gentile state of mind did. We walked in lasciviousness, lusts, excess of wine, revelings, banquetings, and abominable idolatries. We did all these things. You have had enough in the past of evil things that godless people enjoy, their immorality and lust and their feasting and drunkenness and wild parties and their terrible worship of idols. Yeah, truth be told. Okay. Wherein they think it strange that you run not with them to the same excess of riot, speaking evil of you. And so people are going to notice that you just don't move the same. You don't move like them. Okay. And it could be anything. It doesn't have to necessarily be these things per se. Okay. But we did walk in those things, but people are going to notice. Right. Let's see. Let's go back. Let's get this word riot.
Strong's G 810. Asotia.
This word sticking out to me. What does it say right here in the Strong's definition? Properly unsavedness. Right? People they're not saved. They're not covered by Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. It says an abandoned, dissolute life. Let's not get and pull up my. Let's get that word dissolute.
Dissolute.
Lax in morals, licentious. Yeah, people are lax in morals. It's okay. You'll be fine. You'll be all right. Go ahead and do this, that, and the third. And to us, it's like, man, nah. You know what? Let us be wise. See, people are not wise. Jake's not wise out there. It says, wherein they think it's strange that ye run not with. It says run, not walk, run. With them to the same excess of riot, speaking evil of you. Yeah, lackadaisical spirit when it comes to morals. Speaking evil of you. Oh. They're not quick to do this. They don't, they're not perverse in their speech. They're watching what they say. They're watching how they move. People think that's weird. You're too reserved. You're too serious. And it's not that. It's just that you're just observing. You're being circumspect. Okay? You're careful. It says here that, that ye run not with them. You're not running with them. People these days are quick to run to mischief. The Lord hates that. That's one of the 6 things, the abominations of the Lord hates. People that run to mischief, man. Mischief is something that people that they think it's funny. They do evil and they think it's funny. They think it's a joke. It's a game. No, we don't walk like that. It ain't, life ain't a game to us, man. If we're playing anything, we're playing to win. These people are playing to lose, and they just don't understand. And they're gonna speak evil of you. So this is an exhortation. Keep this in mind that people are gonna speak evil of you because they see you're not running with them. No, I'm not running with you. I'm not going hand in hand, down, to hell in a basket, so to speak. It says, who shall give account to him that is ready to judge the quick and the dead? But remember that they will have to face the Most High, who will judge everyone, both living and the dead. Now, when it says those that are quickened, yeah, those that are in the spirit, those that know they're Israelites, those that come back to the true understanding of Yahweh Bashim Yashai, they've been quickened. Okay? But the dead, they're what? They're spiritually dead. Yahweh Shai is good. Judge the quick and the dead.
Strong's G 2198. Zao. Zao.
This is the word quick. To live, breathe, be among the living, not lifeless, not dead. Okay? If you're in this truth, you're among the living. Okay? The Yahweh said, I came to give them life and life abundantly. This truth, you learn, the finer things of life, so to speak, in the spirit. Okay? To enjoy real life, you see? Real life is righteousness, man. Justice, peace, tranquility, real love, following the commandment. That's prosperity, not the world. The world is death, destruction, confusion, malice, evil, wickedness, so on and so forth. Okay? It says what right here? To live, i.e. past life, in the manner of living and acting of morals and character, right? Those are who are quickened. They have morals, they have character. It says the dead is what? The dead is talking about the spiritually dead. Everyone will be judged, man. In the truth, out of the truth, everyone's going to be judged according to their works, according to what they did. Whether
Strong's G 3498. Nekras.
Right.
Nekras.
Right. What does it say? Dead. One that has breath, his last breath, lifeless. So people who are not in the truth, they're dead. I have a target on their back. Okay? They are spiritually dead. They don't know about the spirit. They don't walk in the spirit. Therefore, they are none of his. Destitute of life, without life, inanimate. Metaphorically, spiritually dead. Destitute of a life that recognizes and is devoted to the Most High because given up to trespasses and sin. You see? You're dead when your life has been given up to trespass. You trespass against people and you're full of sins, right? You live a sinful life. You are dead. The Lord's going to judge the quick and the dead. That's what a lot of these individuals who are running amok, running, with excess, according to the excess of riot. They don't understand that they are, as the scriptures say, she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. Okay, but not only, a woman per se, but men as well. Jake as well. If you're living in pleasure, you're dead while you liveth. If that's what you're living for, to please the flesh, you are dead. We weren't created to be animals. Animals live just to please themselves. That's it. They don't live to be spiritual, and that's how people are. It says, for this cause was the gospel preached also to them that are dead, you see? So everyone gets to hear this truth, even those that are dead, even those that are spiritually dead. They get to hear it, but they will be judged according to what they did in the flesh. It says that they might be judged according to men in the flesh, but live according to the Most High in the spirit. And that's why the scriptures say that a spiritual man judgeth all things, yet he is judged of no man. So remember that. Remember that you truly have the ability to judge men in the flesh because you live according to the Most High in the spirit. And that's really why people speak evil of you, because they know that your spirit the way you're conducting yourself is bringing something out of them. It's, insecurities, inadequacies, Believe it. Believe that. Believe that because you're in the spirit and you're walking differently, that people, they're going to get rattled. They're going to come against you. They're going to speak evil of you. Okay? So, but the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch into prayer. Right? We got to be sober. We got to be in the spirit, watching into prayer, constantly praying for, your situation when you're around these individuals, because these individuals these days, they're turning up. They're looking to do all manner of deceit and evil towards the the believers of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. Okay. Be circumspect, because these people out here, Jake is losing it. Jake is truly confused. What does it say here? They run, they think it's strange that you run out with them to the same excess of riot, speaking evil of you. That's what people gonna do. Let's get this speaking evil.
Strong's G 987. Blasphemeo. Blasphemeo.
To speak reproachfully, rail at, revile, calumniate, blaspheme, to be evil spoken of, revile, railed at. Right? They're gonna rail at you. They're gonna want to put you down. They're gonna want to reproach you, confront you, blaspheme, speak evil about you. Right? Because you're not running to the same excess of riot. Okay. But yet these individuals are, truly they're
Strong's G 810. Asotia. Asotia.
Brothers, brothers have put curses on individuals, man, because of the way they conduct themselves. But, just know they're going to speak evil of you. But they're going to give an account to Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. We're all going to give an account. Okay? But the men of the Lord have been set up to, to reprove our people. Okay, men that live according to the Most High in the Spirit, and that's truly the reason why they come for you. Okay, so Lord willing, this was exhorting, and put things into perspective. People, they're gonna come for you because through the Spirit they feel like you judging them, point blank, period. Or that there's a reason why people attack you for no reason. There's reasons for that, but hopefully they shed a little bit of light on that. All right. Lord willing, you was edified. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bashem Rokakodash. Dab honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule well. And a sincere salutation to you, Akim, and you, Aqua, that believe in all sincerity. Shalom.